Good morning everyone, this is Sun Kim's weekly global briefing on 29th of June. As you know that the last Friday all three indices in the US stock market, they all fell, and it is really the significant signal of the bearish market. So now we have to check all the indices and commodities first to how to overcome this bearish market. Number one, as you see that the Dow Jones goes to the 25k lines and the Nasdaq fall from the 10k lines, and then now it keeps in the 9700 lines there, and then it is in a can, and everybody say that it's no more than 10k and 10 grain lines, and then say that okay, now it'll go up there more than maybe 11,000 or 12,000 k lines, but no. There is some kind of limit of the liquidity of the dollars, and also the real consumers market is still freezing, so it is not working there. So now it is making some kind of adjustment, and now in price and periodically together. And as you see that the S&P 500, it shows that it just barely keeps the 3k lines, 3,000 lines, and then this week all three indices, they will go down, and it really shows the downward, and definitely it is now on the bearish market. And as you see the VIX future on June, it raised more than 7% on Friday. The problem is that it fell up to the 32 on Monday, and still is getting rising. You know that it is that still the volatility is rising up, and as because of the US and China, and also the second half and the second quarter, I mean the first half, it really ruined the performance of the, not only in the commercial market but also in the consumers market too. So this week all the indexes and all the results will come out for the consumers market, and it will accelerate the bearish market too. And number two, the commodities, as you see, the gold, silver, platinum, and the palladium, they all raised, but it is not so strong on it. And as you see that the gold, it makes some kind of it is hanging on and around $1770 to $1780. The problem is that it has some kind of possibility to drop down to 1730, and I recommend you to, it'll be better to invest in silver rather than the gold. It is not of course it has some kind, in long term it has a possibility to go to the maybe more than $2,300, and the Goldman said that it will go more than the $3,000, but I don't think, maybe it's more than 20 or 25 years later, and there's no crisis like 2008 or this year. Okay, so you have to check it up, the gold, silver rather than the gold. And also I also recommend you that the platinum is a really good chance, and it is now making a very, very, very modest bearish market, but it is good that it still keeps the line, still keep the bottom, I mean. So it's really good chance to buy the platinum here, and then when there is a bearish market, then there are so many chances to getting the platinum making some kind of bull market on it. So you have to check the platinum. I recommend you that. And also the palladium, I don't like that. Okay, palladium, it shows that it shows that more than 2.6%. The problem is that it reflects the real world, I mean the consumers market, and the problem is the consumers market is still not good, and the automotive market is not working. Now everybody wants a Tesla, not the gasoline engines, okay, not the gasoline cars. So you have to check the palladium again, and maybe it'll make some kind of bearish market as time goes on. So it'll be better to check the other commodities like coppers or the lithium, if you can do that. Okay. And finally, the copper in September is the future September, and it said that it fall maybe 0.7%, and then it still kept the $2.60 per pound, and the problem is that it won't go up more than the $2.70 per pound. The problem is that there are two really big drops. I mean, the big bearish markets. One by the stock market and one by the COVID-19. Okay. One drop from the stock market, it is almost recovered, and then now the ceiling is $2.70, and now the copper, it couldn't overcome the $2.70 because still there is a COVID-19 and the consumers market is still freezing. So you have to check this up, and if it touches the $2.70, maybe it'll fall again and it'll make some kind of a price and the time adjustment of this area. And number 3, the oil. Okay, all 3 oils, they fell. Of course they fell. Yeah, the consumers market is not so good, and the Dubai oil, it made more than 2% drops. Okay, WTI and Brent oil, they make some kind of box patterns, and I told you that WTI makes the $35 to $40 box patterns, and the Brent oil made $37 to $43 box patterns. Now it is on the middle of that, and maybe it'll make some kind of other momentum. So it'll, maybe this way it'll go up again or not. So we have to check out 1 or 2 more days. Okay, and after that we start the transactions on Wednesday, and then we'll get some kind of a result about it. And be careful about the Dubai oil and Brent oil, because the Libya made some kind of really issues about some kind of amnesty. Amnesties on the. I mean, they want to cease fire, and the problem is that Turkish guys, they come to Libya, and Russia too. So and the problem is that U.S. don't want that. Trump is not happy about that, because he really supports General Haftar, and the other 2 guys, the other Turkish and Russian, they support the Libyan government in Tripoli. So that is another issue, and it'll influence not only the Dubai oil but also the Brent oil too. So this is the very, very, very important issues on this week. Now we'll check the weekly news. I brought 3 things from the Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, and Financial Times. As you see, the first one, the global COVID-19 cases hit 10 million as pandemic gains momentum. And the problem is that, okay, we get the cases confirmed. And how many died? How many died? Nobody says that, okay? So everybody knows it. Okay, I know that maybe so many people can be infected by COVID-19, and will you die or not? Okay? Do you understand that? The death rate is not so high, and many old peoples, like our nannies, our grannies, they all died. And now what? Now what? The younger people and us, they are still alive, and they still have possibility to spend, and they can have the power to boost up the consumers market. So it is already reflected on the stock market and the commodities already, and everybody knows that. And now what? If the COVID-19 is eliminated by the vaccine or any treatment, then the market will boost again, and very high speed and very strongly. They'll make a real bull market ever we have experienced before. Okay. So number 2, Wall Street Journal, travel bans take shine off banks' premium rewards card. As you know that the Chase Sapphire cards or the American Express Gold or Platinum, whatever. Okay. Everybody has that kind of maybe 1 or 2 credit cards from those companies, okay, and maybe some other banks too, maybe Bank of America, maybe, maybe you do that, and then now your all rewards and all the points, they are already busted. They're all busted, okay. There is no chance to go to the other go to travel or go to trip to the other places. So we can spend on the hotels and the hotels or rent cars or plane fares or the restaurants, whatever. Okay. So what happened is that the banks gives the different way. Give the the reward points in different ways, and to give you some kind of a mart on like a Kroger or the Walmart or whatever, okay, or Costco, whatever, okay. So everybody moves to think that the travel is now, it is not safe, it's dangerous. So unfortunately, this summer, the consumers market related on the travels and some kind of leisure area, they will have a really big red on that area. I mean, this will be the really bloodshed on it, okay? Bloodshed, not shit, okay? I don't want to give any four words, okay? I don't want any give you any 4-letter words. Number 3, Germany to overhaul accounting and regulation after Wirecard collapse. As you know that the Germany fintech company, the Wirecard, they filed the bankruptcy last week, and they made a really big mess, $2.6 billion of that debt, and they hide it. Yeah, so accounting system has some kind of problems on the Germany, so they are really shocked, and everybody is checking all the accounting systems of the German, and not only in the German but also in the EU together. And this will make the Germany economy much harder, because Germany has really lots of regulations and restrictions on their industries and their entrepreneurships. And now the accounting is very tightened, and then it will make another hardship. I mean, the companies will have another burden on accounting system. So maybe this year the Germany will have a very poor performance on the economic sectors, I think. Okay. Next, I'll give you the market forecast now. Now, as you said last week, the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P 500, they will show high possibility of bear market this week, and I bet this week it'll make a bearish market, and it'll start it. Okay, it'll make some kind of price and the period adjustment maybe around it, maybe a couple of weeks or up to 1 month. Okay, up to a month. So you have to be careful, and you have to check and then get the money from it, and take cash from the stock or the commodities, and then you have to check the market this week, because there are so many events, so many bad events this week, as consumers indexes, and any other issues from the China, and also in the Libya or the Middle East area. So and also the Iran has a problem, so you have to check that up. Number 2, commodities shows bear market in general. Yeah, absolutely, it is true. And lean hog price collapsed on Friday. It is really important and really serious, because the US-China will make another conflict, not only in the economic but also in the geopolitical and some kind of sometimes maybe in military, I think. In South, we have to check the South China Sea. And number 2, we have to check the Hong Kong. U.S. banned some personnel in the Communist Party in China who suppressed the Hong Kong's freedom, and they freeze all the assets in U.S. and also they made them they made a ban on the visa. So now the U.S.-China will make another conflict, so we have to be careful about that. And number 3, oils make box patterns, as you see that, yes, and then the WTI and Brent is in the middle of their box patterns, and the price selling is blocked by COVID-19, as you see that. And the Dubai oil, it will make another collapse. I think it will make another collapse, because there's geopolitical issues and oversupply in the market, and also the demand of the China and India, it will shrink again. Now maybe there are so many factors, from the sanctions or COVID-19 or whatever. There is some kind of issues, so you have to be careful in this week. And I give you the advice that you have to be careful. I told you to be careful maybe a couple of months before when I started this briefing, and now it is time, real time. Yeah. And finally, the weekly focus. The stock market maintained bear market this week. Absolutely, it'll make another bearish market, and I think it'll drop again and again. Maybe it'll up and down. Yes, make it up and down like that. But I bet that Nasdaq will not make. I bet the Nasdaq it'll have a problem. Maybe it'll try to go over the 10K lines, and maybe a very short time it'll overcome. But it won't keep it. It won't keep the 10K lines. Okay, so the liquidity and the consumer's power is on its limit, and now it is time to fall down. Now, number 2, does agriculture commodities reflect the market consumption properly? Do you really think that? No, it isn't. Now the consumer's market is freezing, and but still people have to eat. Okay, so basic consumption is steady and it is fixed amount, and the problem is that the supply is shrinking. As you see the last week briefing, that from July no incentive will be paid to the meat packers. Okay, then the supply will decrease, and still the demand is same, then the price will go up. Yes, absolutely, the lean hog is collapsed. It collapsed the price. But now one good news is that now the supply also will collapse too. Yeah, really. So it is really good chance to buy some, maybe buy some agricultural commodities like lean hogs or beef. Yes, I prefer the protein area. So you have to check it out this week. And finally, well, another global economic shock happened again in July. Yes, absolutely. This week we'll go to the July, and there are so many reports about the consumers market, and here and there consumers market from United States, European area, China, Japan, and India, whatever. Okay, then it is really a bad sign of the bearish market. So you have to keep your cash, your principal. So this is the end of the briefings. So everybody knows that this week will be really harsh and very hard time, but keep the faith that the good time, good shine. Keep the faith, and that there will be a shiny day, that we'll have a bull market on every sector. Okay, so have a good day, keep your principle, and God bless you. Thank you.